Welcome to Surrounded by Sports. I am here at Escambia High School with Coach Mike Bennett, the Dean of Coaching in this area, I believe. Is that correct?
Well, that's just because I've been doing this so long, man. Everybody else retired.
Right. Coach Bennett has a long and illustrious career. I have, away from you, discussed your career as legendary. I haven't said that in front of you. I don't think you would think about it like that just because you're in the midst of it.
Right.
But the state championships, the district titles, the Coach of the Year awards, I mean, all those things are true.
Yeah.
Right? And it's, I thank you very much for letting me come over here and talk to you. But I want to hopefully get a little bit of a retrospective on how you got to be where you are today, as far as a little bit about your high school and maybe how you developed into wanting to be a coach, how football affected you, your coaching path to being the head coach at PHS, and of course all the success you had there working with Gary. It's fascinating to me that your son is your offensive coordinator, and that relationship, because you have quite the, I know a great deal of people who have been your assistants, and you have a great reputation as a guy who allows coaches to develop into who they can become. Right. And I've always known you to be the kind of person that passes credit around pretty freely to the people around you. And I really want to get into all of that and more with you, if you don't mind, along with the Escambia team that you're going to have playing now. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's great.
All right, man. We're going to do all that and more after this.
You are watching Surrounded by Sports, the podcast hosted by Kevin Perkins. This show emphasizes how sports and life intersect while showcasing the Gulf Coast. And now, Surrounded by Sports.
Welcome back, folks. Coach Mike Bennett here. This is Surrounded by Sports. Thank you to Faust Builders, McCory Homes, Sideline Sports Bar and Grill for sponsoring this, allowing me to chase knowledge on how sports and life can intersect wherever I can try to find it. Okay, so back to you. We're going all the way back to your, not all the way, but we're going back to when you were a young person. Ninth grade year, you were at Woodham, and then there were some districting things going on which allowed you to transfer to Tate. Now, in a private conversation, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, you said that moving to Tate, being around Coach Carl Madison, may have kind of saved your life.
No doubt.
No doubt.
No
you want to
doubt.
expand on that?
Well, Woodham was a great school, and Coach Cardwell was a great coach. I loved him to death. But, I wanted to hang out with the older guys, man.
Right.
And back then, it was crazy. We would walk right out the front door and jump in the car and go to McDonald's every day for lunch.
Right.
Every day.
Right.
$1.50, three hamburgers and, and a drink. And, I hung with those guys too much. And, I didn't really care about school whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And then, Coach Carwell, they let him go, and Coach Wasden came in, and Coach Wasden was a great football coach also. But we had a redistricting thing, and I moved closer to Woodham, and it was Tate's district right off Olive Road. And ended up going to Tate with Coach Madison, and it was in between playing football with Coach Carwell and the spring training, again, I'm hanging out with some baseball guys, and I quit. Everybody else quit football. I quit football,
right?
Which was the worst mistake I've ever made in my entire life. And so the next year I go back. I'm not playing, and then I look at this map, and I was an assistant in Dean's office. I looked at this map, and I went home and I told my mom that, hey, we live in Tate's district, and I said I want to go to Tate. I called Coach Madison and told him I'd moved into the district, and he said, come out. My dad took me out, and then from there on, I played with some guys with Scotty and
Scotty
Madison, Bobby Hughes, just a great senior group. And in fact, when I first got there, now I played on the varsity as ninth grade at Woodham, and Coach Madison put me on JV, and he had a right to it. I wasn't who I thought I was at that time.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, it helped me. And then about 4 or 5 games, he moved me up. He moved me to defensive back, and I played defensive back for the rest of the year as a sophomore. And then junior, I played runner. He moved back to running back. I played running back and got to play a little bit at DP and some outside linebacker in the next 2 years. And it was great playing with Coach Madison. He was very disciplined.
Right.
I talk to these guys all the time. Back then, it was 3 licks or 3 days, man. And that's even if you were tardy.
3 licks or 3 days.
And I promise you, I would I was only tardy one time, and I got 3 licks from the dean and Coach Madison.
Ooh.
So I got 6. And, I never again did I get in trouble. That was it. But it was just different, and
Right.
and it taught me discipline, taught me just to go to class and be quiet and
Right.
do the right thing.
But in a way now, when you're at Woodham, you chose to go to a place where you didn't know a whole lot of people. You went away from the group. I don't know if you did it on purpose, but you took yourself out of a situation
Right.
that wasn't great for you and put yourself into a situation that wound up being great for you.
Well-
But it takes a little courage to go away from all your friends.
We lived in Woodham District, and Corky Cruz was a good friend of mine, and Corky was there, and so the only thing is, I was number 10 all my life, and Corky got number 10 when he got there, so I couldn't get number 10. So, but it was like I said, Woodham was a great school, man. I mean, it was me. It wasn't. It had nothing to do with anybody else. It was just me, but our baseball coach, the JV coach, he was let go during that time. The football coach was let go, and back then, if the football coach left, the guy brought in a new staff.
Right.
It's not that way anymore. But
Right.
so it was just different. And,
Right.
but as far as going to school, and I go to class, but
I get it. I get it.
But when I got to Tate, it was totally different.
Right.
And
And Carl insisted on that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's probably the reason I insist on these kids coming to school. Because I tell them all the time, we're not here for breakfast and lunch and football.
Right.
We're here for school, and then we play football after that.
Right.
And it's all about the education.
And two, okay, so I'll just jump into this quickly. I know that, Mark Hobley, I talked to a great deal about you, obviously. DJ Williams, I had on my show. I had Gary Coward, who's your assistant. We'll get to a little bit more detail later on my show. And multiple other people, including my sister, who said, who is in the district. I don't think I've ever said that on the show, but she's in the district. And they all say nobody cares more about kids than Mike Bennett. And do you think that goes back to Carl Madison, and maybe you were worried about where your path could have been without a system to support you?
I've coached a lot of schools, and a lot of the kids that I've coached, they've grown up like I grew up. I mean, we didn't have a lot of money growing up whatsoever. I mean, I didn't know that we were maybe probably poor, because we probably were, because we ate every day. We always had a place to go home to.
Right.
But some of these kids, and they're good players, but man, they just have to have guidance. And that's what I got from Coach Madison. And then when I worked at Washington, I got that from Jimmy Nichols.
Right.
And then from Jerry Pollard, who I worked with, guys that cared about kids. And the bottom line is, I tell my coaches all the time, if you don't care about kids, if you don't get to know their background, why are you coaching?
Right.
And I feel the same thing about teachers. I mean, if you don't want to get to know their background and get to know them and find out, just exactly what they go through on a daily basis, why do you do this? Because we don't get paid a whole lot of money. So why do you do it? Because you got to do it because you love kids.
Right. And I've heard people say every relationship is reciprocal, but that's not necessarily financial.
Right.
What you can get out of helping somebody else, and I mean, the amount of people you've helped is endless, right?
I hope so.
I was on a text today with Ben House, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Coach Bennett's my guy." You know what I mean?
Just talk to him another day.
Yeah. He told me that. And so, okay, but we went to Booker T, and it was a who's who of, at that time, I think Roy was there. You had Beth Barr was there.
Right.
There were Olympians there, and you had the #1 ranked team in the country in football with Derek Brooks and Ben, and so, and the coaching staff, Jimmy Nickel, that was incredible. What did you learn on that staff? Dave Wilson, who winds up going to Florida State and coach Mississippi State. What did you learn on that staff?
Well, the first thing I learned how to coach.
Right.
And it's crazy, but I used to go in basketball, Ronnie Bond, to his practice.
Oh, legend.
And I would just sit there and watch. And Coach asked me, and he said, "Man, why do you come here all the time?" I said, "Coach, I want to learn to coach. And he coached his girls so hard, it was unbelievable. And I mean, I just wanted to watch how people coach and just learn. Jimmy sent me to clinics every year, to learn to coach. And it was, I just worked with some awesome coaches. Dave Wilson, Dave was there. Kenny Jones was there. Monk was there. Mark Hobley coached there with us. Mark Humphreys coached there with us. I mean, we just had a lot. Quincy Clements, who was the defense coordinator, he was there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and Steve Williams, who was a great coach at Washington, and went on to Fort Walton Beach to be a defense coordinator. I think coached at Choctaw. He retired. He was the smartest of all of us. He retired early, and he's enjoyed his life.
Yeah.
But just great coaches I was around, man. I mean, they were all good guys, good coaches, and
gave their lives to kids.
All of them cared about kids. All of them.
Right. Now, Quirk of Life, I believe you wound up, how did you wind up in Puerto Rico?
Well, that was my first head coaching job. I got a head coaching job in Puerto Rico, and with Roosevelt Roads, and it was funny. I went over in the summer, and I interviewed for the job, and didn't get the job. Well, I didn't know if I got the job. I went back to Washington. I'm working. I get a call that I got the job, and I had to tell Jimmy. I had to walk in and tell Coach, man, Coach, I just got the job in Puerto Rico at Roosevelt Roads, and but I'll be here for this week, and I'll get everything done because I did all the physicals. I mean I had them all in folders.
Right.
So
you were the paperwork guy.
I did it all. I mean,
right.
And they had a faculty meeting. They were going to announce that I was leaving, and they did. But I wasn't anywhere around because I was down. I was down doing all the paperwork, trying to get so Coach would have everything. And so I got over there, man. Had a good time for the 2 years, and it was a good place to coach at. And then I came back and with Jerry Pollard and Jerry, and it's crazy. I talked to Jerry almost every day. With the 2 years, really,
when you were in Puerto Rico,
really trying to learn, because I've been an offensive coach. I coached defensive backs, but I didn't know, and it was only me and another coach. I mean, it was only two of us, and I didn't know some things about defense that I wanted to know. I talked to Jerry all the time.
Right.
And so then when I came back, Jerry gave me a job at Pine Forest, and
now you were his coordinator.
No, I was the offensive line coach, and I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Coaching offensive line, and it was a lot of fun.
Right.
A lot of fun.
Rhett Summerford, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to him. He said everybody needs to coach offensive line if you want to be a coach. You agree?
Oh, I agree, and it's. I probably today I probably know more about offensive line than I know about anything else. It's crazy,
right?
Because I had to coach it in Puerto Rico, and then I got to coach it there and at Pine Forest, and then I got a head coaching job at Northview.
Right.
I was the first head coach there, and
you started the program.
Started the program, and I was only there a year. Great kids.
Yeah.
I just wasn't used to coaching small town football, and I wanted two platoon, and that's the only thing I knew how to do. And but I had Coach Cardwell.
Yeah.
Coach was with me, and had some good coaches, really good coaches. Mark Bagley, who he's retired now, but he coached baseball at PHS. Came with me at PHS, and Russ Rogers.
Right.
He came with me, and he coached from there at Northview, and then he came with me at PHS. But and then I got a PHS job after that.
Right.
And 18 years.
Right.
It was a lot of fun.
And what a run. Right. You had tons of players that moved on to play at higher levels. You won a state championship. I think at what point over there did you and Coward how did you discover Coward?
No, I knew Gary from Washington. He worked as one of the lifeguards in the pool.
The greatest swimming coach of all time.
Yeah, and so I knew he taught math and business. He was certified in math and business, and I went to my principal then and asked, the second year I was there, and asked him, could we hire Gary? And he hired him as a coach and hired him in business. And he coached with me. He could start out coaching the secondary, and coached with Coach Halliday, Barry Halliday, who was the head coach here, came over to be as a defense coordinator the first year, and then when I moved Barry to offensive coordinator, Raymond took over. Raymond Corner. And then when Raymond left, I hired Gary. And Gary's been with me over 20-something years as the defense coordinator. When I retired at Washington, at Pensacola, Gary didn't coach. He coached 1 year, and then he went to West Florida. And then I got the job here.
Right.
And he came with me here as defense coordinator. So we've been together a long time.
Right. And how do you feel like, because do you let, like this, okay, how do I put it? I picture you as the kind of head coach that allows delegation, or really almost insists on everybody doing their job well and kind of making sure, going in and out of departments, making sure they're running around. Is that correct? Or?
That's correct. And in our first meeting, I tell them all, especially when I have new coaches, if I have to coach your segment, then why not hire you? I mean, hey, I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna watch what we're doing. Sometimes some of our coaches they come up with new stuff that I really like. Sometimes, even Gary, I'll say, "What are you calling?" Because he's changed some things, and so then when he explains it to me, that okay, and I don't, to be honest with you, I don't ask him why he changed. His terminology can't be my terminology, and I know that. But I just need to know. He just make sure I know, because sometimes I look at him and say, I want to be in cover 4. Well, and he'll tell me, well, cover 4 is cover 4, but it's not 4 across. I say, well, I want 4 across there. I want 4 guys back there deep. That's what I want.
Yeah, right.
So, but Gary and I have a great relationship. And we'll get on the sidelines sometimes. We've had some heated arguments.
Oh yeah, you guys are fun to watch.
And then 15 seconds later, that thing's over with, and now we're talking about something different. And he knows that, and I know that it's just we're such competitors, and we both want to win.
Well, that at its core, right? If you go all the way back to Tate and Carl Madison, if you go to Washington and that who's who of coaches, if you go to you and PHS and Gary, all of the people you're talking about wanting to win, being competitive, attacking life, that's a core element of the way you live.
Exactly. It's if you don't attack life head on, man, you'll be left behind.
It's that whole, you either punch or get punched.
That's right.
And so when you've been here a while, at what point did you bring Brett in?
He came with me. Brett was
at PHS and played for you.
Yeah, he played for me at PHS, and he went to Jackson State.
Yeah.
Played there for 4 years, and then he GA'd at doggone it, Coach Hop.
Okay.
And for a year, and then I told him, I said, hey man, I need a coach bad.
Right.
So he quit GAing, and I called Coach Hop and told him what, and Coach Hopson was great. He said, Mike, I understand. And so Brett coached with me. All we did was coach. He didn't teach that time. And then when I retired, he was there with me 2 years, I think, and or 2 or 3 years. No, 2 years. In the second year, he was offensive coordinator and did a great job.
Right.
But then he went and worked with Jerry at Pine Forest when I retired.
Right.
And that's when he started teaching.
Jerry
Pollard. And then he started teaching personal fitness and ESE. And then when I got this job, I said, hey man, are you gonna come with me? He said, yeah. I said, so, and he's been the offense coordinator for, this is his 9th year. He's had an incredible run.
Right.
The players and they love to play for him because he likes to throw it around. And to be honest with you, we're pretty much 50-50 run through. So quarterbacks like it, running backs like it, offensive line likes it. So he'll be a head coach soon. He's had one job opportunity and he turned it down, and it's hard to leave it's hard to leave a job and get paid, be an assistant and get paid $15,000 less. And,
going back to working with your family though, how rewarding is that to watch his development from that closely?
Oh, well, he's just like Coach Coward. Sometimes I'd say, hey, what is that?
Right.
Because he's come up with his own terminology, which is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big ISO guy, but he has another terminology. What
Right.
I can't tell everybody because then they know because be yelling
right,
out
of course.
there. But he's got his own terminology, and it was kind of like when I got to PHS, we were 28, 29, 24, 25, inside out numbers. Well, I got DeMontre Carter, I got all these players,
Right.
and we couldn't move the football. We're in practice. So I called Keith Bragg, he's my offensive line coach. I said, Keith, if I call 28 isolation, what is that? And he said, that's ISO. I said, if I call 29, he said, that's ICE. I started using their terminology, what they knew. And man, we just started ripping things off, man. I said, okay, well,
We'll do that.
We'll sit down and I'll learn their terminology. What Coach Wilson had used in the previous, because we had a senior local
Dave
team.
Wilson,
Dave
who's
Wilson.
now at Lighthouse, but was with you at Washington as
Right.
well.
And he was the head coach there before me at PHS, and so we started using his stuff, his calls. It was still our stuff. I mean, 'cause
Yeah.
we were all our teams, but so and that's what Brett, when he wants to put in his terminology, which is fine with me.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
tell me this. So you're so to be successful, as long as you have to be willing to adjust and have new ideas around you, and if you don't, it doesn't work, right?
No, because if I was still calling plays, it would be ISO, as people tell me all the time. He's going to run ISO and he's going to throw the fade. And they're
That's
right.
all he's gonna do,
And
right,
That's all he's going to do.
Right.
I might throw a hitch and a slant in there, but we've evolved so much more in the spread. And I'll be honest, I was the first one to put the spread in Escambia County, and we'd done four wides, but I'm talking about shotgun spread,
The works.
and run the option out of it. And we did it at PHS. I want to say it was 07.
Yeah.
And it worked really well because we had good players, but they were small kids. They weren't getting on the field. We didn't have any more tight ends. We didn't have any fullbacks.
Right.
And so now we're getting more speed on the field. And so I studied it for 2 years before we ever put it in.
Right. Well, that's the thing too, right? When I think of you as a football guy, like not as a mentor, but as a football guy, I think he maximizes the athleticism that he has around him. And the thing about the spread is you can get guys into one-on-one scenarios,
Right.
and you can get your guys that are quick away from linebackers and defensive linemen, right? And that's how is that.
I think so. And I mean, and you can look at other teams that have gone to the spread, recently or even 5 years ago, and we keep evolving. But we'll look at film, and after we played them, and they haven't run something that we've run, and all of a sudden we'll see it when we watching somebody else, and they'll run that play.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of neat that that sometimes they take plays from us. I mean, Brett,
Yeah.
he said, hold on just a second, they had to get that from us because we just played them, we ran against them. but Brett is he's really smart, man. And to be able to come to work every day and see your son and talk to him every day. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll say something sometimes, but he's one that, yes, he knows I'm the head coach, and yes, I am his dad, but I'm not dad at practice, and I'm not
Correct.
dad, when we're playing. And
Did the player coach relationship help that, you think? That kind of already got established that.
Yeah, but I mean, even when he plays for me, sometimes he reminds me he had a helmet on, but he did something. I told him 3 or 4 times, and he said he did it, but all of a sudden I just had a clipboard and I hit his helmet, man. I mean, I broke my clipboard. And
Which wouldn't be a normal play, a regular.
I couldn't do that to anybody else, only my son. But
Right.
he did have a helmet on.
Right.
It was a cheap clipboard too. So. But
Right.
But look, he's in the weight room all the time. I know when it's time to, I need to back away, man. I ain't arguing with my son.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. Okay, I have gotten to come and watch you practice, and he is Gary is here, and his crew is coaching and all that, and Brett is here, and they are very much kings of their own turf.
No doubt.
And you love that, right?
Oh yeah. Hey, there's some days out there they will be getting after it.
When they come together and it's time to practice against each other, right?
yeah.
Well, that's how you get better.
Oh yeah. I mean, but it's not just the players getting after it. It's the coaches are getting after it.
100%.
And now we got JJ. JJ just tries. He
He's your new
chimes
DB
in.
coach.
Yeah, he chimes in, and then you get Coach Whitehurst over there. He's an offensive guy, and he's all about Brett. And then you get
Right.
Coach Sonny is over there, and he's offensive him. him and Coach Reggie Smith are the offensive line coach, and they're getting after it.
Right.
So man, it's a lot of fun.
Right. Still.
And it's nothing personal. Everybody just very competitive.
Wants to win.
Yep.
Right.
Competitive.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back. We'll talk about this year a little bit, and then we'll kind of wrap this up. Okay.
All right. Gotcha.
All right. Welcome back, folks. And first of all, thank you to Faust Builders, McCory Homes, Sideline Sports Bar and Grill for allowing this type of thing to happen. Coach, this year has not started off like you wanted, I'm sure. But you won last week. This will air in 2 weeks. You got a game with Navarre coming up. And all your goals are currently still out there. You can still win the district. You can still get to the playoff. Or is that what you're focusing on?
Well, we focus on that every year. Is our goal is to win the district and get the playoffs and go as far as you can. Your ultimate goal is to win the state championship, and that's what you got to be working for every single time you get out there.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you can say, oh, well, you should have won this one. Well, 5 turnovers, you don't win.
Right.
And, when we played West Florida, I mean, we turned it over 5 times.
Right.
They did a good job of keeping us out of the end zone. They did a good job of making us turn it over.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't like, one of them, we snapped right by the quarterback, yes. But the fumble on the 1 yard line, kid made a heck of a play.
Yeah.
Came around like he's supposed to, swatted the ball from us. They get on the 1 yard line, they score. So, I mean.
Yeah, he gave it to Lawrence Taylor.
You got to give those guys credit that they won the football game. And I think everybody thought, well, Escambia, they'll win at ease, but we knew how young we were.
Right.
Nobody else knows how young we were.
You
At that
are
game,
young.
we had a freshman that played offensive line. We had 3 sophomores. Now, we're midway through the season. Those guys aren't sophomores anymore. They're not freshmen anymore.
Right.
They're growing up. They're getting better. Then we get beat. We go right to Niceville. Man, you get in the greatest environment that you can play in.
It's crazy.
What a student body. I mean, it's what you dream of.
Yeah.
And they sell it out, and so you go over there. We played better. Still turn it over 5 times.
Right.
Then we go and we play Bay.
And they can score.
Bay is probably the most athletic team that we played so far.
Right.
Again, we turned it over 5 times, 4 on special teams.
There you go.
So we're 0-3, and we're 14. We've turned it over 15 times.
Goodness gracious.
And so
That's crazy.
we play Mosley, and Mosley
They're fantastic.
didn't play well a couple of weeks before. Of course, they played Bay, and Bay beat them.
Yeah.
But Tommy Joe does a great job, and man, they came over here, and we tried something different on defense. And it's totally. And I told the kids, this is my fault. That game, because we put our kids, even though we worked on it all spring, we didn't have the same guys that we had in the spring at some positions. And I told our coaches, that's my fault. I thought this guy would be better, and I told our players, and I just talked to the players about myself, and I said, man, this is on me.
Right.
We took a great defensive front and just put 3 of them in there, try to stun a lot more, try to get after them, and it didn't work out for us.
Right.
We did it the year before, and it worked, and it just didn't work then. We went back to our 4-man front. We went back to our defense, what we know, and what we do.
Results were different.
We get a big win over Washington, who has a really good football team.
Yep, they sure do.
They're a really good football team. They got a lot of speed. They got that number 0 over there, Luke, that is a dominant, probably the best defensive lineman that we played against this year. And but I thought our offensive line did a really good job. So I thought we were growing up. I thought Billy played really good.
Yeah.
I thought we ran the ball real well. I thought defensively, I think we had 5 turnovers. We had got 5 turnovers.
Right.
So we were +3 because we turned it over twice to them.
Royce Jones had several, right?
Royce Jones had two picks.
Right.
He's growing. He's a sophomore that's growing up back there.
That's what I was thinking when I was we interacted last week. I wasn't feeling well, so I kind of was like, on Friday, instead of being at a game on the sideline trying to get my little footage, I was watching 4 games on my computer and then 1 on my phone. So I was watching y'all, and I kept hearing sophomore, junior, and every question mark in my head as to, I wonder what's going on over there when I'm seeing scores. It becomes clear to me. Oh, they're very young.
Very young.
Yeah.
But
There aren't excuses.
there's no excuse for being young, man. We got to coach the youngness out of them. That's just the bottom line.
Right.
And I know my coordinator sometimes, I tell them, hey man, we really have to coach them because you know it. You know exactly. Brett can tell you exactly what everybody's supposed to do on every single play.
Right.
Gary can tell you what everybody's supposed to do on every defensive call, but they're the ones that got to know it.
Yeah.
So sometimes we got to take a step back and say, get on the board with them,
Right.
get in the more film with them, do whatever we can to make them better.
That goes back to being a teacher.
More. Yes, walk through it more.
Right.
I mean, if somebody in the classroom can't do a problem in your math class, and you're teaching geometry and they can't do something in geometry, then as a teacher you got to take a step back and say, okay, let's walk through this.
At what point is my disconnect?
Yeah.
Because I have to connect where the disconnect is in order for this ball to go forward.
It's the same thing, and you got to be a good teacher to be a good coach.
Right. It's all one thing.
Now, for me, I don't know if that's true for me. I mean, but I've been in the weight room so long,
right?
And you do it so long, it comes natural. But even then,
right?
When I'm in there and I'm showing them how to squat, and of course, any incoming ninth grader wants to put 300 pounds on a bar, and they're mad at Coach Bennett because we start with the bar,
right?
And right now we're only up to 135 pounds,
right?
But we're learning to go all the way down,
right?
So, and even in the weight room, I changed it up. Had Brett in the weight room in the summer. He even taught me some things about cleans to help our kids.
Right.
So,
because he's a body beautiful kind of guy.
Oh yeah,
he works out hard.
Oh, yeah, he works. So, you're always learning. I'm doing 40 years in this and still learning.
Right.
So it's all about teaching.
But you're open to new knowledge.
You got to be.
Right, and that doesn't. Okay, that's the thing that follows you through every part of your life, right? I mean, that doesn't begin and end when you walk through the doors of the football program. Like, you're open to that in every part of your life, correct?
Right.
Right, exactly. Right. Now, so Billy Dunn, I do want to talk about him a little bit. I think he's he's really good, right?
Billy's a really good player. Again, he felt the raft of the new offensive line that couldn't protect as well early in the season. The last few ball games, he really hadn't been touched.
Mm-hmm. And he's spinning it.
He spins it. He even, I think 3rd and 18. He scores on scrambling out of there. We're doing a couple of different things with him to make him a better player. But Billy's a hard working guy.
Right.
I mean, he's hard working, and sometimes it's frustrating because he knows exactly what to do. And, just like any other quarterback, man, they all make mistakes, man. They all get a wrong read,
It happens.
And I try to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I try to remember to, just throw out the positives out there, the negatives.
Yeah.
Sometimes that doesn't happen.
Right.
But, Billy's played extremely well. And, he's going to, after he leaves here, wherever he goes, he's going to have a great career.
Right.
Because how hard he works.
Right.
I mean, nobody outworks the guy.
Right. Well, the other thing is, too, okay, when we talk about sports, and we go and we talk to people, and the program is successful all the time. Part of life is, how do you handle things when they're not going your way? And Billy's a senior. And this, again, I want to emphasize, his goal, the goal to win the Chicago, it's still out there. But how do you lead sophomores and freshmen when they aren't? Because a quarterback, the leadership of a quarterback, he's got to get up off the ground and say, guys, that's okay, let's get going.
And that's where he's been. That's the way Billy is, and I mean, he's very positive to every one of them. And we try to help him in different ways. And I think we take some of the defense linemen, and we have this way. We have an A team. Remember the movie A Team? Mm-hmm. We have an A team, and we have the ones.
Right.
And A team plays, and ones play, and but it's been some competition.
Right.
Because now they know I'll take a defensive lineman and put him there at any time.
Right.
And those defensive linemen want to do it.
Right.
And And so that's made those younger guys get better.
Right.
Because you have to have competition.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason when you see these guys like LaDarian Clarity that goes off to Ole Miss.
Ole Miss played here last year.
Right. And I talk to him all the time, and the competition there, and he's having to work so hard and just to get on the field and
Right.
special teams. And he's doing a heck of a job, and he's enjoying his college life, and he's enjoying playing football. But he just tells me, and he told a kid the other day, it was back in the summer, we were going to camp, and they called him, and he said, listen to Coach Bennett, what he tells y'all is true. When you get here, it's totally different than high school, and everybody around me is good or better than me.
Mm-hmm.
And so you really have to put the work in. So, and Squirrel, I knew Squirrel would put the work in. He's doing it now, and he's doing amazing things as a freshman.
Right. Well, that's the thing. That's the whole point. And maybe we wrap on this. The whole point of all of this is teaching people how to be better in their lives, and that's what you have done. You have searched that out your whole life.
Well, and I got this from Coach Madison, and I get look, football gets you ready for life. The discipline part of it, the teamwork. It's like we have team, not about me. Mm-hmm. We have it sitting up in there. They touch the sign. I got that from Florida State from Coach Bowden.
Mm-hmm.
When you're going, say you're working at Whataburger in your high school. If you don't show up and you're supposed to be cooking at that time, now somebody else has to get off the register, go cook. You can't get people out as fast.
Right.
It's everything's teamwork. So that's where
Correct.
you can't miss practice. You can't miss your job. If you are going to miss, you've got to call in.
It's got to be a reason.
And you got to do it in a time that they can get somebody
Mm-hmm.
else. You're going to miss football practice. I tell them all the time, have your mama call me. Just have her call.
Right.
Don't text me. Just call me. And if you're sick, that's fine. I mean, I understand it. So there's sickness going around, but it's just responsibility. Football will teach you, to come to school on time.
Right.
It'll teach you to go get a job on time and work on time. It'll teach you what teamwork's all about. It'll teach you how to be disciplined. And if you can do those things in your life, I'm telling you, you'll like I've got a couple there in boot camp right now. One of them, he's about done, and man, he's all gung ho.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, and he lost a lot of weight. I didn't think it'd be this hard, but he's going to fight through it because of the work that he's put in. And he said, Coach, I know I've got the discipline to do that because what I've done in football. And he was not a starter in the ninth grade. He was a third team guy. He was a starter as a senior.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very good offensive lineman last year for us.
Right.
And he knows how to work and work himself in the military and work his way up.
Right.
And but he learned that all from football.
Right.
And
It
hopefully
teaches
from Coach Bennett.
It teaches you to show up.
Yeah.
It's the old joke. What's the most important ability on a draft board? Availability.
That's right.
Well,
and hey, and the thing about it, we get together. I've been getting together a couple times with the 76 team that I played on. I get together with the 70, they were 75 team, the 77 team when I was a senior, I was senior 78, but the 77 team, I get with those guys in May. We do some stuff, and everything comes back to football. Everything comes back to the discipline that we learned from football. So, these guys are retired now. A lot of them are retired, and they're still talking about, how they got through what they've got through in life.
Right.
And it's all because of football and Coach Madison.
Right. It was all because somebody taught them how to show up and how to be accountable.
And then I got guys that did not like Coach Madison and quit. But they still remember the discipline part about it.
They wound up utilizing it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, they're still good guys.
Absolutely.
Just because it didn't work out for them in football, doesn't mean they're not going to be a good guy. I mean, I got kids that quit, on me, but 10 years later, they come, hey, I played for Coach Bennett. Well, he played in the ninth grade, but I don't say anything.
Right.
I mean, because but he learned something in ninth grade to help him, do what he's doing now.
Right. Well, you never know what moment is going to matter in a person's life. And sometimes you do quit something.
Right.
And then you realize, that wasn't as hard as the consequences of mine.
That's right.
And maybe I should have.
And it may not have been to the high school coach. There's a lot of good SYSA coaches, Perdido coaches. I've got two guys that played for me at Bellevue that are coaching. I know Pine Forest has some, and they're molding these kids. And I remember a coach when I first moved here from Texas, and my brother and I played at Inslee, and Otha Biggs.
Uh-huh.
And Otha was disciplined, great football coach, great mind, and you know, I remember it, you know, to this day. And then Coach Bailey, Coach Harry Bailey, he was the defense coordinator, and just how disciplined he was. And I'm talking about, I'm playing junior football, you know, as 12 years old.
12, 13 years old,
at Inslee, and I'm getting really coached by some really good guys. And now that I look back on it, I thought, man, you know, those guys were really good coaches and really good people and really good disciplined guys, and that's where it started.
Right.
You know?
Right. Man, thank you so much. I appreciate you giving me your time, man. Thank you.
Appreciate you having me.
This is Surrounded by Sports. This is Coach Mike Bennett, Escambia High School. I'm gonna have online on my Facebook things, my Twitter things, and all that. I'm going to show you how you can vote, because currently they have the opportunity to win $1 million for the athletic department. Which
Vote,
is
vote,
huge.
man. Just vote every day, and it's for all. Man, look, you know, every school needs to get behind this. Everybody in Pensacola needs to get behind it.
Right.
And you know, this isn't a Mike Bennett thing. This isn't an Escambia High School thing. This is something that can help the whole district. It can help every kid. You know, we have a lot of events on our field, but and I say this all the time. If we're able to get something really nice, you know, some other schools are going to get something really nice too. And because I know how our county is, and they're not going to let schools fall behind. I mean, yeah, you may not get it next year. It may be 3 years from now. But
and like your principal suggested, if they don't have to send money here for a year or two, that money can be allocated elsewhere around the district, which is awful helpful.
Exactly. And,
Folks, Surrounded by Sports. Thank you, Faust Builders, McCory Home, Sideline Sports Bar and Grill. Thank you again to Mike Bennett.
Appreciate you,
man.
brother.
Thank you.